All right, you guys, welcome to our call. Meg and I are so excited to share all the things about Anchor and Rise with you today. So, Meg and I have been really good friends for over 10 years, and we've been walking this wellness journey for that full 10 years. And
Yeah.
I am just so excited, so proud of us for stepping into this space and really creating something that has been, I feel like it's been in the making for years and we just maybe didn't know it. But for this last year, we really stepped into this new space of creating and serving and pursuing our mission. So she is definitely my partner in passion, my partner in crime, do all the things with. And I'm just so excited for us to share all of the details with you guys today.
Yes, this has been on our hearts for so long, you guys. Like Corey and I have coached each other through many seasons of life because we are very, very similar. She's my yin to my yang, and it's more than just a program that we created with Anchor and Rise, you guys. It's a reflection in everything that we have personally walked through as moms, as coaches, as women, trying to find alignment in the chaos. Because if you talk to any woman, right? They come up and they say, "Oh my gosh, I just have so much on my plate. I have this, I have this, I have this." We have all these plates that we're trying to spin in the air, right? And if we're not able to take that time for ourselves to fill our own cups, we can feel very mentally and physically drained at the end of the day. So with Anchor and Rise, we wanted to be able to give women just a space where they can fill their own cups, right? And do it in a way that feels good. Right, Corey?
So I love that because we have both, being moms, have walked many different seasons of life over the last 10 years together, right? Like from having a little baby to being pregnant again to having two kids and juggling all the seasons along the way. So we totally get that life is never just perfectly aligned. I don't really think that either of us really believe in balance. I believe there's ebb and flow in life. There are certain seasons that we can focus in certain areas, and some things kind of fall to the side. And then there are other seasons that we can kind of shift that focus. And the goal with this program and our approach to coaching is to help you find a more even flow through those different seasons so that you're not on and you're not off, but that you can create this space that you can fill your cup back up and feel confident and like you're progressing in the season of life that you're in and kind of match where you are instead of fighting yourself to be perfectly on or, following this rigid plan perfectly, that you can step into this space that you kind of honor where you are. You learn to be in tune with your body and enjoy the process so that you keep up with it, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so Corey, let's get into why we actually created it. So take us back. I want you to think about the moment that made you say, "Okay, Meg, we need to build this."
Yeah. So I think that for both of us, and I want you to give your spin on it too, but I think that for both of us, like we have been in this space of wellness and fitness and following programs for a very long time, but it was kind of like we were just going through the motions and following a program versus kind of listening to the season of life that we're in, listening to how our body is feeling, learning to be in alignment with our body. And as we've kind of coached each other through the years, I think that we both kind of came to this place that we were like, we need something that is sustainable and that has anchored habits that we can continue through the different seasons of life and learn how to pivot and adjust to match ourselves where we are. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I remember that moment when you texted me and you were like, "We need to build something where women are just met where they're at, right? Not another challenge, not another thing that they pop on the TV or, watch and kind of like lose themselves in it, but like a place where they could build strength physically, emotionally, and track as they go." I think as women see the app and what our test group ladies are seeing right now is that it tracks your progress and it applauds you along the way. Some fun little secrets. I don't know if we'll talk about it or not, Corey, about what happens when you progress and how much you're lifting. And it's one of those like extra levels of motivation, right? Where you're like, oh, I just lifted a whatever, right? Like I'm just gonna. It tells you animals, you guys. It tells
A
you
baby
animals
giraffe.
baby giraffe or like what was the penguin? Like a
Oh,
baby
yeah, the little
penguin or
penguin.
like an elephant or like orca. And I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna get today? Right. And it like makes you want to push harder, which I think is really powerful. We are coming from a space over a decade, like Corey said, just kind of following another trainer and following their cues and following their form and following their pace. And with the way that Anchor and Rise is designed, is it's time for you to tap into your power. It's time for you to pay attention to your form and what feels your best because we're all different, right? Like Corey might have to bring her legs out a little bit more to feel it in the spot where we're talking about, or, I might have to, keep myself up a little more in order to avoid a injury or, so forth, right? And that's the way that it's been designed, right? So let's get into now just being able to talk about the details and the flow of Anchor and Rise.
Yeah, so with the Anchor and Rise workouts, I want to kind of piggyback off of what Meg was just saying. And she's talking about how you might have to find a little bit of a different spot or just adjust depending on your height and where you're feeling it. We really want you to build strength and functional strength. So that means when we're talking about working our quads or we're working our glutes, that you feel it in those muscles and you kind of adjust your body to feel it in those areas and really engage that muscle. So, Mike, I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about the fine details of the 12-week program and what Anchor and Rise actually is.
Yeah, so guys, the name Anchor and Rise, Corey and I, we were going back and forth for names. We're like, we're just gonna put it out there and see what people say. And this was very clearly the winner, like very clearly the winner from both of our accounts. Like people were like Anchor and Rise because I feel like that's just what you guys are about. So, guys, Anchor is all about the habits, right? The strength, the self-trust that you're building in every single commitment that you keep to yourself, right? And then the rise is for the confidence, the energy, the alignment that's going to flow through you through the 12 weeks, right? And this is the kind of program that you can repeat over and over and over again because of the way that it's designed. Corey and I text back and forth and not to toot our own horns. We're like, man, this is like really good. This is really, really, really good, right? Because it's 12 weeks of strength and wellness, you guys. It's an experience built to help you progress with progressive overload training, hormone supportive nutrition, mindset practices that you're going to get coached through with Corey and I that help you stay consistent without obsessing. Both of us came from being very all or nothing people, and we've learned to live in that middle ground, right? Because that's where life is fruitful, you guys, right? Really focused on overall quality of life with this program. Wouldn't you agree, Corey?
Yeah, and I love that we've done that because I think that sometimes when we're chasing smaller, chasing maybe a physique goal that we don't really understand what it takes to achieve that goal, and we find ourselves kind of always doing the next best thing, the next shiny thing. We're constantly changing it up. We have to have muscle confusion. We have to do this. We have to do all this cardio, and it's like, but really what we need to do is build foundational movements and habits and keep repeating those to build that muscle, to build that confidence, and to move forward. Okay. That's how we create sustainable habits, is by having things that we can do repetitively and do it consistently to move ourselves forward. So these workouts are designed so that you can do them at home or you can do them at a gym. I'm going to touch on really quickly some of the equipment that you're going to need. It's very minimal, you guys. Dumbbells and resistance loops or bands and a bench if you have it, and a yoga mat for some of the recovery work, or if you're having to kneel, that sort of thing. It is minimal. You do not need a ton of equipment to do this program, but know that each week as you progress, you can progress in many different ways, whether it's the reps, how many reps you're getting, or the weight that you're using, or the range of motion. And when you're getting deeper into the moves, that is how we progress week over week. Okay. So the first block is going to be laying the foundation. foundational moves, helping you get into a rhythm with this style of workout. Okay. We emphasize warm-ups, cool downs, they're built into your workouts, as well as active recovery days, because that is vital to not only supporting your hormones in your body, but also aiding in recovery so that you can get stronger. You guys think about if you've ever done a program before and you just keep trying to burn the candle at both ends, what happens? We're going to crash and burn, right? So we have to have those days that we slow down and we have that recovery. And then block two helps you build strength and confidence with really leaning into progressive overload. And then block three, it might be my favorite yet. It is something special, but it is helping you to progress forward, to lean into the strength and the functional movements, but also to have some power moves in there to really bring that athleticism and functionality to your everyday movement. Okay. So that's the power phase. We're going to bring it home with block three.
Block three, because Corey and I've been filming, right, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
baby, like this one's gonna be powerful. And since most of the strength workouts are 40 to 60 minutes long, you guys, okay, we've added something special. Corey and I were going back and forth, and we're like, you know what? There needs to be an anchor block, something when someone is short on time or it's a busy season of life or traveling or whatever, that they have 30-minute workouts that they can add in, right? Because we don't want you guys to feel like, oh man, I can't fit in the 45-minute workout, so might as well not do anything, right? Like we want you to be able to have that option to pivot when you need to pivot, right? And the other thing is, you guys, that we have three different calendars. Okay, so there's a 3-day calendar, a 4-day calendar, and a 5-day calendar. Okay, so the 3-day calendar is for someone who maybe can only fit in 3 days, or maybe you're just getting into this style of working out and you need a little more recovery. 4 and 5, those are there for people who want a little bit more. Okay, like Corey said, we do have the active recovery days as well. Okay, but I've been talking to a lot of people who are either training for a triathlon or a half marathon or a marathon, and that's where I would suggest that you follow either the 3 or 4 day calendar. So on those days off, you're able to fit in those strength, or I mean, the running workouts. But then on the days where you are needing cross training with the AMRAP or the strength training workouts, that's going to be designed to help you really get your workouts in. Okay. It's had everything, like we have everything with this workout. It's crazy.
Yeah, we really, well, I mean, you think about it, we have 10 years of
So many
experience and
years of experience.
right, like that we're really bringing everything into one space, you guys, and what has really helped us thrive as women and moms and build that confidence, but also as we're learning as aging women, because we're all aging, right? That's a blessing. I know that so many people run from aging, but that's a blessing, right? So, learning how to better support our bodies through all of these transitions and phases as women, I think is super important, which is why, again, we've really emphasized the warm-ups and the cool downs and the active recovery days and just helping you to build intentionality behind your movement, not just checking a box. Okay.
Yeah, and the community piece, you guys, that's where the magic happens. Okay. So women are sharing their wins, their struggles. We're reminding each other that we're not in this alone. That's what keeps people going. Okay. So there's so many programs out there where you can get a fitness and a nutrition piece, right? But do you have women and men who are going through it alongside you, who are able to pick you up when you need to be picked up, right? Like this is meant to be your safe haven, your safe space. And even Corey and I, like we've been leaning in and saying like, oh wow, yeah, like I needed you guys today. And so it's been powerful seeing our test group ladies, because there's how many of us in there? 8 total
Yeah.
at this point.
Mhm.
Just the strength and the power, but also how much they've grown internally over the last, we're halfway through 6 weeks, right? I can only imagine what happens when we bring this out to, a bigger audience, the power that's going to happen, right?
Yeah, so I loved that the other day, one of our girls was sharing. I actually shared a little bit of a vulnerable post and something that I had kind of worked through, and she was just, being appreciative of that. And she's like, "This is the first space that I feel like I can be vulnerable and talk about those struggles. You guys, we have to bring light to those challenges because none of us are perfect. Meg and I coach each other. We coach each other through the app because we're more accountable and we do better when we have someone to check in with, right? And it's just nice to have someone as a sounding board. But here's the other fun fact that when you bring light to those challenges, maybe sneaking into the pantry to get food or not tracking all of the food you took in because you're kind of ashamed of it, when we start to bring light to those things and just track it and take it in as data, it loses its power. It
Mhm.
loses its power over us, and we start to heal that relationship and that connection to nutrition and the mindset around it, which just opens up the door for growth in so many different areas of life, right? So let's get real for a second. Meg, why do you think so many women still feel stuck when they know what to do? Because I always used to say that I know what to do, I just need to do
Good.
it.
Yeah, well, it's just doing it that's hard, right? Because knowledge isn't the problem, you guys. There's so much information. It's almost like information overload, right? Like I have people come to me on a daily basis, like, "Is this legit? Is this legit?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let me look through this," right? Like knowledge isn't the problem, you guys. Alignment is. Most women are living in survival mode, especially if you are someone who is working and you have children and you have a spouse and like again, so many plates spinning in the air and we're trying to pour from an empty cup and we're like, there's something wrong with me. No, you are not aligned. You are not taking the time to pour into your cup. Who's pouring into your cup, right? Anchor and Rise helps them build self-trust. Okay, self-trust, consistency through small commitments that you're keeping to yourself on a daily basis, you guys. And then Corey and I are your sounding boards, right? We're there to guide you and support you along the way as you are developing these new habits, right? It's not that there's something wrong with you, it's that you just haven't had the right community and support to fully stick with building these new habits. And when you have that, that's truly when change happens.
Yeah, I love that you said that there's nothing wrong with you. Like that's something I like to say too is you are not broken. Like we've been led to believe that, right? And that makes me a little bit emotional because I can remember, almost 14 years ago, I felt broken. I felt like I was failing over and over and over again. And I think it's so important for us as women to understand that to be the best version of you, to lead by example and be the best version for your kids, for your husband, for your friends, for your family, you have to, it's essential. It is vital for you to pour into you. It's not selfish to take that time for you. It's vital for your health and your happiness. And when we fill ourselves up and we take that little bit of time for us, everything else just seems to overflow with joy and gratitude. And you will see all areas of life really start to improve.
hmm Yeah, I was listening to a meditation before I came on here, and it was about clarity and focus. And one of the things that he said that I was like, that is so powerful is, he was having you focus on your breathing, right? And he was like, if your mind drifts, bring it back to your breathing. And then he said, if that just happened, smile. Smile because you are learning something new. And I think so often, like you said, Corey, like women, we believe that we are failing, right? That like slowing down or resting or listening to our body is equaling failing if we can't like fully follow the calendar to a T, right? But sometimes slowing down is how you're going to move forward, you guys. Like both Corey and I know that personalities, right? Personality wise, we are go, go, go women. Like we have to be reminded to slow down. I have one of those aura rings and it like applauds me when I sit down, right?
Sit
Nice, sit down,
down.
right? Yes, sit down, right? So our growth is to be able to slow down and listen to our bodies. That's why we added in those active recovery days, right? But we also know that some women need to be pushed a little bit harder, right? Like they maybe are the personalities that are more sedentary or letting yourself off the hook with things. And so being able to know where you need to lean into to grow, right? Like that also is part of Anchor and Rise, that there's going to be times where you are going to be pushing yourself hard. Like some of our test group ladies are like, oh my gosh, that workout today, like what just happened, right? But then they're so proud of themselves. And then also on the, active recovery days, many of them being like, I'm not used to taking a rest day, but I'm really learning to love this day, right? Like it's all about learning what you personally need, right? To feel your absolute best.
Yeah, what does my body need today? What does my mind need today? And what's funny is, a couple of our girls are very much like us in the test group where they maybe struggle to slow down a little bit. I know I gave Meg so much pushback when she's like, you need to put a midweek recovery day in there when we really started leaning into progressive overload over a year ago. And I'm like, no, then I don't feel like I'm doing anything. But here's the thing. I was able to, one, mentally reset, but
Yeah.
two, push so much harder in my workouts and be in tune with where I was for those days. And I think that that's super important. One of the biggest things that you will hear Meg and I say repeatedly is it is not about perfection, but it is learning to be aligned with your body. It's learning to listen to what your body needs. There are a lot of different programs on the market, right? There's something out there for everyone. And right now, kind of the fad is like this hormone supportive or cycle syncing style workout. And so Meg and I kind of, this is kind of off on a tinge a little bit, but we kind of talked about maybe, learning a little bit more about that space and kind of exploring that a little bit. But at the end of the day, Meg and I both said to each other, there's no way that we would deload for 2 full weeks out of an entire month.
Yeah,
Like
that'd
that
be
would,
torture for me. That'd be
it
torture.
would, one, it would be torture mentally, but two, that would hinder our progress because the way that both of our cycles are, I don't need 2 full weeks of deloading and rest. But what we teach our girls is look, maybe the first couple days of your cycle or leading up to your cycle, you might feel a little bit more fatigued and you might feel a little bit more tired. That's when we say, what does my body need today? We lean into maybe an active recovery day and a little bit more rest and being in tune with our body and then going back into the strength workouts or maybe the AMRAP, okay? But I think that just that conversation and maybe permission to be in tune and aware of where you are and not what everyone else is doing. Because what Meg needed today is different than what I needed today and what she needs tomorrow. Even though we're both very similar in our path and we're in very similar places, if you look at us on paper, we're two different people with different personalities and needs, right? So we really want you to learn to nourish and support your body so that you feel your best. Okay.
Okay, so Corey, I know we say that Anchor and Rise is so different because it's so much more than sets and reps.
Yeah.
Why? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think really it's the synergy between structure and support, right? You have that guided structure to keep you aligned and progressing and knowing what you should be doing in your workouts to help you get results. But the support, the one-on-one coaching, giving you permission to be where you are. But Meg and I are also very capable and very willing to have those tough love conversations when you're getting in your own way. It'll always be from a place of love, but we have to learn. Meg talks about this all the time, and I use this as well as discipline, right?
Mhm.
With Anchor and Rise and our coaching approach, you're always going to have love and support.
Yeah.
But when we're looking to achieve something different, we have to do something different, right? And so Meg and I will help give you that guided plan and help you to lean into that. But on days that maybe we need to have a little bit of grace, we're going to help you to see that and help you remember that maybe just today is a day that we need to take a little bit of rest. Or if we've been maybe kind of letting ourselves off the hook a little bit, we maybe are lacking a little bit of belief that we can do it, then that's where we're going to help coach you through and help you see that you can do this. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, you guys, the feedback from our test group has blown us away, and we're only halfway through, right? Like they don't just feel stronger, they're feeling more confident, they're feeling calmer, they're feeling more in tune with their bodies. We're seeing these women have these moments where they do have to step back and, like Corey said, offer more of that grace side of the equation and listen to their bodies due to maybe an injury or an illness or something that's happened in the family, right? And then other times where they do have to push a little bit harder, right? Where they're like, oh, I was babying myself, right? Like I was babying myself last week. I stepped it up this week. And the cool thing is that they're able to see what they did the week prior, right? Because it
Mhm.
tracks all of your weights and then show up the next week a little bit stronger because the way that we guide you is going week to week, right? Like where can you improve with your sets? Where can you improve with your reps, right? So, along with just the discipline, grace and discipline, you guys, I think that awareness and intentionality is power, right? Like
Mhm.
we can't go through life mindlessly, you guys. Being able to be onto ourselves and where we need to grow. I think that's what really does make your life powerful is when you're able to own up to where you do need to improve, right? So, yeah, we've had lots of those, what we call kind of like rise moments in our test group with our ladies, and Corey and I are having them as well, right? Like we created the program, but we're going through it too for the first time, and we're like, oh my gosh, whoa! Like I messaged Corey yesterday, and I was like, dude, like, did you really lift 100 pounds for that? What was it? The goblet?
Integrated partials.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? Like you're a beast. I was like, God, I gotta go step it up, man. Right? Having those rise moments as well, physically, but also mentally.
Yeah, so and I just want to share what two of our girls said this week from our test group, and one of them has really been leaning into maintenance macros, and after years of weight loss and having really big goals, she's opened her heart to stepping into maintenance and kind of refueling her body because we can't be in a deficit all the time, you guys. It is not, especially for women, for our hormones, that is not good besides the fact that it's mentally exhausting, right? So she's leaning into maintenance, and the first couple of weeks we had to have some heart to hearts and some coaching through it because even for me, I will text Meg and I'm like, oh, and I know Meg's just stepped back into maintenance. There's a little bit of mental drama as you move back into maintenance. Okay, so know that that's normal, but know that we will coach you through that. And what I loved about this for our girl is that it's been 4 weeks in maintenance, or after about 4 weeks, she's like, oh my God, like I'm doing it. She's not terrified to gain all the weight back. She doesn't feel like she's going to lose control with nutrition. And I'm like, that's huge. That
Okay.
is huge that she can enjoy some of the things that maybe she binged on or overate on before that led her down on a healthier path. That she
Right.
can have those in moderation with zero shame, guilt, or, any mind drama over it, which was incredible. And
Mhm.
one of my other girls, or one of the other girls that's in our group, sent me a picture of her updated photos this week, and her before and afters are already mind blowing. But she shared with me her back photo, and what she said was, "That's me. I'm strong AF." That's
Yep.
what our program is about, is helping you step into your power, rise to that next version of you.
Yep. And I think is really powerful too, just like being in the space, coming from, a space where there wasn't a lot of emphasis talking about maintenance, right? It was like getting smaller, getting smaller, getting smaller, deficit, 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 right? This is like a space to be able to normalize maintenance for women because that's where you grow muscle, you guys. That's where you grow muscle and you strengthen these habits. I think so often women fear, like you said, that one client, they fear maintenance because they're like, I'm just going to gain all the weight back. No, this is where you get to heal. You get to heal your mind and your body and that relationship with food, right? And see that you can push harder in your workouts, right? Like it's just, oh, it's so good. It's all so good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what they can expect, Corey.
All right. So if this is speaking to you, this is your sign to step into something different, that you can be aligned and feel supported, have that guidance, but also learn to live your life too. This isn't about this or that. This program is designed to help you step into I'm leading a healthier path. I'm working towards my goals and I'm living my life and I'm being present and I'm enjoying, right?
I love adding in the and, you guys, because for people who do struggle with all or nothing, it really is like the or, right?
Mhm.
But Corey and I both learned like life is fruitful and more enjoyable when you have that and. And you guys, you don't have to overhaul your life to be perfect, okay? You just need the right tools. You need the guidance from us, right? And the community to help you stay aligned.
Yeah, so we built this to help you feel strong in your body, steady in your mind and your heart, and to anchor into who you are and rise to that next version of you.
We would love for you guys to be a part of this with us. We're sharing a sample workout well, in November, mid-November. I don't know when you're going to watch this video.
Yeah.
And opening enrollment. Can I say the date, Corey?
Yeah.
December 16th. Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
guys. That's just a little, yeah, it's like a little over a month as of
A,
when we're
a month and
filming.
5 days. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know
Crazy.
they are both like, this is like our baby, you guys. Like, this is our baby. And we're so excited for women and men to go through it and just freaking crush it, right?
Unlock new
Mentally,
levels.
physically, emotionally, everything. Unlock so many levels about you. So make sure that you grab the replay of the sample workout from either one of us. Okay. And we can message you the details to get set up for the enrollment of Anchor and Rise for the official launch of Anchor and Rise.
Yeah, we're so excited. So, a couple fine details really quickly as we wrap up. So, the sample workout is going to drop on November 18th. Meg and I are going to film that together. So, you're going to get kind of us, being silly and quirky and 100% us in that workout. And then we also have enrollment early bird special starting on December 16th. And then January 6th. Monday, January 6th of 2026, which is right around the corner, you guys, we are going to kick off our first round of Anchor and Rise. So make sure you connect with Meg or myself if you would like to be a part of that. Stay in the know for all the details as dates start to come up. We are so excited to launch this to all of you. We appreciate you taking the time and we hope to see you soon.
Yay!
Bye.